So there is this generation that is growing up, watching you place those demands. What should they pick from these conversations?
Resilience. Resilience.
But do you think it's high time we had land reforms in this country?
It's not a question of land reforms. It's a question of applying the law. Why were there no evictions in 1940? These random ones, these illegal ones.
Well, the Leaders Podcast, People, Purpose and Progress with me, Simon Chris Makanga. Thank you so much, friends, especially if you're coming here for the very first time. I'd like to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe so that you can become part of this family. Our special guest tonight is the Katikkiro of Buganda, Owek Charles Peter Mayiga. He is a lawyer by profession, and on behalf of the King of Buganda, his primary responsibility is to make sure that the entire system of Buganda is operating. He's got to make sure that the education system is running, the health system is running, the transport system in Buganda is running, the infrastructure is ongoing, and above all, he's got to make sure that the people of Buganda are healthy and as well making money for themselves. He's a great voice of hope for this land of Uganda. Owek Charles Peter Mayiga. It's a pleasure to have you on the Leaders Podcast.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to meet you again.
Thank you so much for accepting our invitation, and thanks to the team that has coordinated this conversation. This is absolutely out of curiosity. What does it mean to be the man I've just described?
It turns you into a prison of the public.
Prison of the public.
That's what it does.
Okay.
Because you carry out a number of activities in the interest of the public, at least in Buganda, but to some extent Uganda as well. Therefore, you sort of become answerable to the millions of people, first of all, who subscribe to the heritage of the Kingdom of Buganda.
Okay.
But also because Buganda is an integral part of Uganda, many of the themes we address affect the rest of the Ugandans. So in many situations you find yourself, relating to the rest of the country. So it makes you a prisoner of the public.
Prison of the public, to me, I define it as a true definition of a leader. We'll speak to that. But allow me to take you back when you're little, very young. When you look at yourself in a mirror today, and then you reflect at that young little boy, Charles Peter Mayiga, is there a memory or a story that speaks to who you are today?
Maybe. I'm a person of very strong convictions. And my convictions are not situational. They are not informed by the goings on at that particular time. They are strong beliefs, I think.
Okay.
And I hold on to them. When I was in secondary school, I was in St. Mary's College, Tov. They call it Shak these days. Then I went to St. Mary's College, Sui. But when I was in Chitovu, I was unofficially declared the all-level student spokesperson.
Okay.
There was no such office. And I was not a member of the prefectorate. But I was always selected by the students of S4 especially to speak for them whenever they were aggrieved. And I would always stand up and speak up. Of course, there was a little bit of naivety because we were very young. At times, the kind of things we talked about could have caused our expulsion from school.
Okay.
Reflecting on it now. But whenever I felt that a situation needed to be talked about, I would rise up and talk about it. I strongly believe in fairness. So Yeah, I've been like that. And probably also given the times I grew up. I mean, I was a child during Amin's time when the kingdoms had been abolished. Uh, 4 years before Amin became president. And my parents used to castigate the circumstances
that were happening there,
that led to the abolition of the monarchy in Buganda and other areas. And, you know, and of course Milton Obote was at the forefront of the banning of the monarchies.
Yeah.
And I grew up with the feeling that the people in Buganda have a right to enjoy their cultural freedoms. If they want to have a king, they should have him.
There was a fire and you burning.
Maybe, but I didn't realize that. But I held to the conviction that nobody has a right to stop you from believing
that I'm a Muganda.
That you are Muganda, or you are
I'm a Musoga.
Musoga, you're Muslim.
I'm an Acholi.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if they actually have got a practice which they cherish, it is presumptuous for anyone to say that they shouldn't practice it.
I know.
It's extremely presumptuous.
Owek, allow me to speak to your responsibilities as a leader in the institution of Buganda. Believe you me, all leadership comes from above. But how would you define leadership without the titles that you own? When you look at yourself, how would you define leadership?
Leadership is responsibility. Leadership isn't about title or honor. Leadership is a responsibility to carry out such activities which address societal needs. Every society, every community will have needs. Every society, every community will have challenges. Every society, every community will have a vision, you know, for which they aspire. Now, a leader has the duty to devise the means or to chart out the route that takes the people of that community to that vision.
Somewhere.
Or the leader has the responsibility to find solutions to the challenges people meet, people face. That's what leadership is about. Actually, honor or titles or even respect, all that depends on how the leader executes his duties.
Okay.
I mean, you can be called honorable, right honorable. You can be called excellence, whatever people want to call your lordship. But if you do not execute the duties surrounding that office you occupy, for which you are entitled to that title, well, the title itself becomes a mockery. It becomes a mockery. I mean, how honorable are you if you are corrupt?
I know.
You know? What kind of lordship are you if you cannot take care of your flock?
I know.
With integrity, with humility. So, leadership is a responsibility.
Responsibility. It actually truly resonates with my definition as a human being. I believe that in every problem, there is a seed of a solution within that problem. Let's speak to land, of which all of your activities that you've talked about that speaks to your responsibilities as the Katikkiro of Buganda, they all operate on land. Recently, I had a conversation with the Owek Robert Sebunya, who is the presidential advisor on Buganda
advisor for
yes.
Buganda.
Yes. I posed the same question to him, that land is a major factor of production. It does not increase in size. As a population, we increase every single day. Every single day. Looking at the land reforms we have in this country, Owek, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, where shall we be?
The biggest challenge regarding land is, I mean, it's not the law actually. I think the law on the books is sufficient. But it's the application of the law that is wanting. And there are issues related to governance, how the offices that deal with land matters are run. The land office, the land officers, the different land offices. How does it happen that one piece of land may have two titles? That means that someone is doing something wrong in that office. How is it that the police cannot investigate those who break the law relating to land? Because the law prohibits evictions. You know, how is it possible that someone can come from wherever and they come and evict and people in an entire village? Where are the police? Why can't they carry out the investigations and apprehend the culprit, the person responsible for that? Why is it that the courts can't adjudicate land matters fast? They use the word expeditious. The lawyers use the word expeditiously. That really means fast or quickly. Why is it so difficult? When I started practicing law, land matters would be in magistrates' courts for not more than a month or most 2 months. And they would be disposed of. Now, land cases can go up to 10 or even more years. Why? These are governance issues, really. Why is it that an RDC is going to come and interfere with a court order related to land? An RDC is not a court of law. An RDC is an extension of the executive. And the separation of powers is well defined. The legislature passes the laws. The judiciary, the courts, interpret the laws. The executive initiate the policies. When the policies are initiated by the executive, they are taken to the legislature, the parliament, to pass them into law. Then the court's duty is to interpret the law. So, where does the RDC feature? So now, those are the challenges that need to be addressed. What I'm trying to say, we must let the law work. If we let the law work, even the evictions can be stopped.
But Wachitibwa, I am coming from a school of thought that we have sung and read the Book of Lamentation for quite a lot more.
A Book of Lamentation.
Yes. And I feel like it's high time we close that book and started reading the Book of Acts. But I'm wondering, coming from the head leadership of Buganda Kingdom, what conversations are you having? I am a father of some children, a number of children. And then...
You were a father of children?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you hadn't gotten any children yet.
I have children I'm raising, Wachitibwa. I am worried about them. What conversations is the kingdom having? Because these problems you're talking about, how you have fully addressed them, they are happening within the kingdom, within the institution. But what conversations are you hosting?
I hold these various conversations with the powers that are. I'm always engaged with the members of the executive all the time. I'm always meeting members of parliament or other leaders at the district level or sub-county level. I engage with them. And we must have the collective will to remedy the situation. We must not try to politicize land issues. Some people talk about the Milo land system. Some people say it is the cause of the problems. But the Milo land system has been here since 1900. We didn't experience these challenges during the colonial period. We didn't experience these problems during Obote 1, or even Obote 2, or even during Idi Amin. Although these leaders were also passing certain laws relating to land, which may not have been very, very good. So the question is, why are we experiencing these problems now? It's because the application of the law has been abandoned. That is the main reason. See, impunity. People who carry out evictions come with guns, AK-47s. Those belong to government security agencies, the police, the army, and the security operatives. They are the ones who carry those guns. And all the time there are evictions. These are the people who go to the villages everywhere and evict people. So, if you want to solve these problems, start by stopping them. These are disciplined forces. They work on orders. And they are commanded by the executive. So it's not like the solutions don't exist. The solutions do exist.
But they are not working.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. But they do exist. I think.
But do you think it's high time we had land reforms in this country?
It's not a question of land reforms. It's a question of applying the law. It's a question of governance. Because the problems didn't exist. These laws were on the statute books. Like I gave you the example of the land of the Maido land system. We've had it since we started land registration in the 1900s, the year of the Buganda Agreement. Why were there no evictions in 1940? These random ones, these illegal ones. You know, Makerere sits on a piece of land that was given out by the kingdom. People were not just evicted. They were compensated and they went somewhere else. Namulonge Research Station, it's the same story. Namulonge, Kabanyoro, all these research stations. You know, how come we managed to put up these installations without any problems? How come that we didn't see, even during Amin's time, we didn't see gunmen invading villages and ordering people for their land?
Probably we are becoming a little more greedy.
Maybe that's the answer. Maybe that's the answer.
Well, you're still watching the Leaders Podcast. If you have come this far, it means you're part of this conversation. Endeavor to go ahead and subscribe and become part of this family. Wachitiwa, let's speak to some of the demands that you have always placed from government. For so many times, the Buganda Kingdom has been placing these demands towards the government. And there is a generation which is coming in. You are phasing out. You're in your evenings or mid-afternoons.
I'm in my evenings? Seriously? I didn't know I was that aged.
Okay, mid-morning.
But that's fine. That's fine with me.
So there is this generation that is growing up, watching you place those demands. What should they pick from these conversations?
Resilience. Resilience. You see, Chris, the Kingdom of Buganda is a very old entity. The Kingdom of Buganda, you know, the current dynasty of kings in Buganda is about 1,000 years. I think about 900 years.
One of the biggest in Africa, actually.
Yes, in the world.
In the world.
Actually, it's one of the oldest kingdoms in the world, the Kingdom of Buganda.
I am told when the Europeans came here, they found us well organized.
We were very well organized.
Wow.
And of course, colonialism did what colonialism used to do everywhere. You know, disorganized systems so as to exploit the resources. That's what colonialism was about. So the Kingdom of Uganda is an old institution. And yes, you or me may think that if you place a demand for 30 or 40 years that is not answered, or you must give up, or
you despair.
You despair. Why should you despair? This kingdom has weathered all the storms in the 900 years.
But the beast is becoming stronger every day.
Is it?
I think so.
I don't think so. What is the beast in this situation anyway?
The government.
No, I don't think so. Look, every situation has its moment of reckoning. Milton Obote overthrew the kingdoms. But if we had despaired, the kingdom wouldn't have been reborn. Because you didn't grow up, well, I didn't grow up in a period when the kingdoms existed. You know, I didn't see Kabaka Mutesa. How is it that I'm now the Prime Minister of the kingdom? But while the president who banned the monarchies was still alive, the kingdom was reborn. The circumstances were such that the kingdom, you know, had to be reborn. So, what is important is information.
Information.
Yeah. And I think we are some of the best people in the world when it comes to passing on information.
Are we learning?
Of course we learn, but you don't even realize it. When I was of age, I realized that the kingdom had been overthrown, and I was asking myself, who has the right to do that to us? Because my father was talking about it. When you tell your child that, look, we've got demands that haven't been met, the child at that stage may not even realize it. But when that child grows up
and finds the need to have them,
and then he's like, wait a minute, this is what my father said. Why shouldn't this demand be answered? The people here want a federal system of government. It's on record. My son, my grandson will push the story to its logical conclusion. Maybe it will happen in my own time. Who knows?
Is it something that you think can unite us, or is something that can disunite
Which
us?
one?
The federal system of government.
How does it disunite us? When you were introducing your colleagues to me, you told me one is from Lira, this is Lango, another is from Soroti.
Teso.
That's Teso. You and I are from Buganda. Why are you working with them smoothly? You very well know they are from Lango and Teso. You work with them smoothly. Why should that be a problem? I don't think it's federalism that creates Buganda. It's not federalism that creates Lango or Teso.
Ochitiba, help me understand federalism. When I hear, let me say I'm listening to a radio, and I hear that Buganda wants federal system of government. What is the missing line in there?
Federalism means sharing power. It doesn't mean anything else. Federalism is not synonymous with monarchism. America is a republic. It's one of the strongest federal governments with this. It's one of the strongest countries with a federal system of government. Germany is a republic. It's a federal system of government. So is Nigeria, so is Ethiopia, you know, so is Switzerland, so is Belgium, so is so many countries actually. A number of the most developed countries are following a federal system of government. It simply means sharing power. So that Teso can deal with their problems regarding restocking cattle. They know how to deal with cattle better than the central government.
One would think, if it's that so good, why is it not working? Are you not just selling out well?
No, sharing power is very scary to many people.
To whom does it
Because,
scare?
you know, in Africa especially, when you are president, when you are minister, you must be, how should I describe this? You must be settling and sorting out everything yourself. Many leaders in Africa believe that that's what being in power means. You control where the school will be built. You control where a hospital will be built.
Where a road will pass.
You control where a road will be built. That to me isn't actually power. Power is to enable communities develop in their own way. That's real power. I mean, tell me, is the president of America strong or not? But California, the state of California alone, which is part of the 50 states that comprise the US, its economy is larger than UK, France, I think, and Italy put together. One state, California, in the States. I think the president of the United States is very powerful. The chancellor of Germany is very, very powerful. Even the president of Nigeria is very powerful.
True.
So, it is we must have an ideological shift so that people may realize that power doesn't depend on what you control, but how effectively you bring about positive change. That's what real power is.
How is Buganda contributing to the democratic governance over this country?
Well, we what can we do? We do what we can. We advise people to elect legislators who can push an agenda that can cause social and economic transformation. We do that a lot. We urge the voters to bring in people who understand the interests of the people. We urge them to discard those leaders whose only reason for seeking elections is just power or honor, titles. That's what we can do in the circumstances. And, well, if I talk and one person listens, I say hallelujah. People are not always going to listen to what you say. It's how it works. All over the world, incidentally, not only here.
Is Buganda still central in the democratic governance still? Is this still central like it used to be?
I think it is. That's why every politician comes here. If you had come in the morning, you would find
a lineup. You
would find the young people within the new party. People's Front for Freedom. They were here. The Young Turks. The Young Turks were here. The other day it was the Young Turks from Jema Part. The other day it was the NRMs from Buyikwe. The other day it was Minister Haruna Kasoro.
What are they looking for?
They are looking for that influence you're talking about that the kingdom has. That's
what they call it.
They call it Masanyalaze these days. I think that's what they are looking for. Yeah.
They needed guidance.
That also comes down to influence. Do you seek guidance from someone who is not influential? You seek guidance from someone who is influential.
Where there must be value.
You came here because you think there is influence here.
Thank you so much. They call it 1-0. Well, thank you so much. You're still watching the Leaders Podcast, People, Purpose, and Progress. Owek, let's speak still to the youth that you meant today and those that will be coming. How does it, or what does it mean to be a Muganda today? To a point that I am Simon Chris Makanga. When I'm going to marry or introduce, I've got to hire somebody to come and teach me my culture, or I've got to hire somebody to represent me and my culture. Where are we going?
Well, what you must know is that culture, any culture at all, in any part of the world, is subject to influences, external influences. Because we live in a global village. When you stay in Kampala, for example, you mingle with Darius from Langu, and he's going to influence you one way or the other. You meet, Job from Teso. He's a prince. Yeah. He's going to influence you one way or the other. It's very difficult to avoid that. When you go to the UK today, the debate they are having is about migration. The people who come into the UK and they say they are influencing our way of life.
I know.
When you got the US, there is a big fight spearheaded by the president himself. He's worried that external influence, external cultures are going to influence the way they live their lives. I think the mayor of New York, Mamdan, was he elected? I think Mamdan, I don't know whether the campaign is still on, is the son of Professor Mahmoud Mamdan. He was born in Kampala, is vying for the mayorship of New York. New York is the most vibrant city in the world. So you see, even here in Uganda, we experience the same kind of waves, the same kind of external influences. So when you take your son to St. Henry's College, Tovu, or SMARC, like I told you where I went, your son is going to meet all sorts of people.
True.
And the focus for your son when he's in SMAC is not necessarily about the cultural ways of the Baganda, not necessarily. And when he comes back home, you are away on safari.
True.
You've traveled out of the country. You're looking for the money that you'll pay for him next time. You are not home. The mother works in Owino, Chikubo. The son from SMAC stays with problem made from Kasese. You understand? You are not staying even in the village. You are staying in, I don't know, you are staying in Koloro. Or you're staying in Intinda. The next door neighbor is a Chinese.
I know.
So, this is the reality of life. In a home, Makanga, you of the Nyonyi clan, it's your responsibility every time you get a moment to teach your children about your clan. Teach them about your king. Why is the king of Buganda regarded as the father of the nation? Because of the clan system. We all belong to different clans.
True.
The clan heads get the mandate, the authority from the Kabaka, who is the head of clan heads. So that's why we are united to him. That's why he's the father of the kingdom. You teach your children these things. They will pick one or two things. But by the time they decide to get married, they may not be conversant with everything. And that for me is not to give you sleepless nights. What is important is that we put in an effort to teach these children our ways of life. I would be worried if nobody paid attention at all. But the clan system is still strong in Buganda. So, in the past, if your son was going to get married, if your son was going for Kwanjula, you'd ask one of your
uncles,
you being the father now, you'd ask one of your brothers to escort. The father himself wouldn't go, but maybe his brother or his cousin to lead the delegation to the girls' family. Now things have changed. Makanga, your brother could be in Chotera. Your brother could be in Dubai.
The US.
Your brother could be in the US. That's how the hired people come in. Besides, going to be the spokesperson at Ekwanjula is kind of professionalized, which is in a way good.
So how do we build an institution as we keep our heritage and also stay relevant with the advancements like the way you've talked about them that lead to the delusion of our culture?
Do your children speak Uganda?
They do.
I want an honest answer.
They do.
I think you're a Christian.
They do, absolutely.
Don't you speak to them in English?
Intentionally, I speak to them in Uganda.
Oh, that is good. Now, you are one of the people who give us hope. And for that reason...
And for them, they say, when you say, our Father who art in heaven, you have to recite it in Uganda.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, every parent, if people are proud of the heritage, they should not expect the Katikkiro to go in every home and share the cultural mores of the Baganda with the children in every household. That's the duty of the parents. So I speak to the parents directly now. If you feel that the heritage we have is of use to us, is significant, then it's your job, not the Katikkiro, to impart as much knowledge as you can unto your children.
Let's come to understand who you are. It's part of this conversation. What motivates you to wake up every day?
Because I'm a leader, I've got a duty to execute. When I was named Katikkiro, I had a fair knowledge of what to expect. Because I had been with the Kabaka for quite some time. And I traversed the kingdom and witnessed so many things. You notice people who are struggling to survive. You notice the health service conditions, the standard of education the people get. I'm aware of unemployment within the youth. So these are things which need solutions. And if my colleagues and I can make a humble contribution, then I sleep happy and I wake up tomorrow to carry on a similar efforts.
Do you ever pinch yourself?
Hmm?
When you look at yourself in the mirror, do you ever pinch yourself that, I am the Katikkiro of Buganda?
No, I don't. I don't, by the way, because like I told you at the very beginning, I'm a public prisoner. I mean, if I was asked what I would change if we were to turn the clock, I would opt to lead a quiet private life.
Really?
I practice law. I know many of my friends who are lawyers in town. Many of them are not public prisoners.
Is it challenging to be a Katikkiro?
Of course, it comes with a lot of challenges. It's a responsibility. That's what I told you at the very beginning. That responsibility, places a burden on you. For example, when we started the Mwanterimba campaign, that was an effort to answer the challenges that were being caused by poverty throughout the kingdom. And you travel 100 miles deep in the villages, and people welcome with so much enthusiasm, with so much joy, but they can hardly take their kids to school.
Ochitibu, allow me confess. Recently, last weekend, I was in the village. We took some coffee seeds and planted. Then my father, also got about what they call it, omusiri, and planted some coffee. Recently, he got 480,000. He sold 50 kilograms of coffee. That was his first harvest. Now we are planning to plant another acre of coffee.
So when you witness the poverty levels, and then God helps you to come up with a solution, now that makes me very happy. So when you regard leadership as a duty, then you've got to wake up every morning. Because how do you preside over a kingdom whose people can't take their kids to school? If you can devise a solution, well, I think that defines what a leader should be doing. So that's what makes me wake up every morning. And the work is enormous. No one can ever finish it. So, but you come and work. When it is my time to go and leave, I go and leave. And I leave my colleagues to carry on with the work.
How do you measure the success of your responsibility? Like I mentioned from the beginning, health, education, infrastructure, communication, all those systems have to run like the way the central government is running. They have to run in the Buganda Kingdom. How do you measure the success of all these responsibilities?
Well. The British say you should not blow your own trumpet. But the Americans say if you have a trumpet,
blow it.
Blow it. I don't know which side to go. And I normally prefer the people to talk about what they see as our accomplishments under my administration. But we've made some humble contribution. We've made some humble contribution in the fight against poverty, coffee, first of all in mobilizing the people to wake up and fend for themselves. I think we've made some progress. In the health sector, you hear the Kabaka, is the goodwill ambassador in the fight against HIV/AIDS. And infection rates have gone down because of his voice.
True.
In education, Kabaka helps some unfortunate people. I don't know that is the correct description. With tuition, the Kabaka has set up so many organizations and companies which offers young people jobs. It is some humble contribution that we've made. But the true description of what we have accomplished must be done by you, not by me. I don't want to blow my trumpet. I don't even want to blow it.
But I'm pretty sure you've planted good seeds. But when you say that all these accomplishments, or what is yet to be accomplished, has to be completed by us, it's upon us also to learn, because there is planting a seed and you plant it on a rock. There's planting a seed and you plant it on the fertile soil. But we should also be willing to tame the land for the seed to fall on us.
But you're right, because I'm not the first Katikkiro. I'm not the first person to initiate these different programs. I'm actually the 5th Katikkiro under the reign of Kabaka Mutebi. And other people, my predecessors, have made their contribution. And I'm sure that even after me, those who will come after me will make their own contribution. So I don't know. I think it will get better and better and better.
How would you stay relevant as Owek Charles Peter Mayiga? How would you stay relevant?
Relevant. I must stay relevant.
Otherwise, you'd be out of office.
No, but I'm always with the people. The office I occupy is about the people, really. And if you stay with the people, then you're going to stay relevant, I think. I engage with people in the villages all the time. When I go for the coffee things or even other activities, if I go for, let's say, somebody's Kwanjula or somebody's Kwabyarumbe, you are staying, in touch with the people.
Community.
Yeah, if I go to condole with those who have lost their loved ones, you stay with the people. If you initiate all these programs which benefit the people, you're staying in touch with them. I don't think there is any other way of staying relevant other than
community.
Engaging with the community. Because the office is just a physical place. But the real work is with the
Actually,
with the
you
community.
remind me of the Ikigai. The Americans who went to Japan to do that story. They wrote that book on, depending on the community in Japan, called the Okinawans. The youngest in that community is 80 by 2023.
The youngest?
Yes, is 80 years. So what they say that what keeps them healthy and live longer is the sense of community.
Yeah.
That they will wake up, go to their garden, but late in the evening, you'll see them gather around.
Yes.
And talk.
Because the real role of a leader, not merely the Katikkiro, but any leader, is to understand the community over whom that person's leadership is being extended. Because there is a physical office, like I have an office in Uganda, but the real work, the real issues are not in the office. The real issues are in Bururi. They are in Budu, they are in Kabula. That's where the real issues are. And as a leader, once you understand that, then I think it's fairly easy to stay in touch with the community. Relevant is the word you used.
How do you watch aging?
Aging? It's a gift. When you age, I mean, many people die young. I would like to age.
How are you watching it?
Oh, you must take care of yourself. Don't eat a lot of food. The problem with your generation, you eat a lot of food. And bad food for that matter. Okay, I'm not going to mention the food outlets. Because,
advertisement.
Even short of that, people will say, why is he talking ill of our outlets? But the kind of things we want to eat are not the best. But also people like you and me tend to eat a lot because we can afford. You can afford a meal. You can afford 3 meals a day. And you can afford to eat what you want. Unless you are a professional athlete, there is no need to eat a lot of food. Because your body doesn't need a lot of food to function.
True.
Unless you're a professional athlete. Because the professional athlete uses a lot of energy. If you are Alan Okello and you're going to run the pitch in Nambole,
you've got to eat.
Yeah, if you are Semugabi, if you are Kalido Ucho, you've got to eat. Those people eat a lot of food actually because they need the energy to run the pitch. But if you are seated in an office, like yourself, you sit before cameras, why should you eat a lot of food?
I know.
Secondly, why don't you work out? Because these muscles, you know, the brain is such that the moment it believes you don't need these muscles, they become flabby. Because the brain doesn't think you need them strong.
True.
So they just become flabby.
Yeah, true.
So you've got to work out so that the brains continue thinking these parts of the body are useful.
What would you tell your young 25?
To take care of themselves, to mind their health. They are both physical and mental health. That's what I'll tell them.
Let's speak to that.
And to be dutiful, to be committed, to be efficient. That's what I'll tell them.
Let's speak to that.
That's what I tell my kids, actually.
And it's what you're talking about, Owek, as you take your glass of water.
And water. I take a lot of water.
Please.
People don't want to. I've got a friend.
Yes.
He tells me he is going to receive his water into his body when he's on a drip in Mulago. He can't take water.
Why?
That's the question.
Why? Taking water is natural. Owek, let's speak to mental health. One of the diseases eating us in this country, especially the generation you're talking about, the 25, the youth, is mental health. Mental health. And let's speak to men. 2 weeks ago, I attended an event which was just down there. You were speaking to men. I tweeted about it. My intention was not to attend. Actually, it's the day I came to meet Mr. Kaziwe. So I saw an event and they were talking about men issues. I had to spend my 30 minutes, and glad it was a time when you were addressing men. I was so happy. Men, we are dying every single day, but silently. I want you to speak to men and mental health. How did we get here? How can we get out of this?
A few minutes back, I was talking about the world being a global village. And we are subject to external influence in so many ways. In the global village, you must earn enough to live well, to stay in a decent house, to have food on the table, to pay for the bills. But that may not be the case for many people. In the global world, relationships are affected by the things around us, even in homes. People may be married, but because of the influences we experience every time, the relationship inside the house may not be that comfortable. All these pile up. And because when you talk about men as the heads of the family, which of course refers to being the leaders of the unit, the family unit. Now this means responsibility. So you get affected. This is the beginning of the second term. I think the third term, I think it should be the third term.
It's
the third term.
Yes.
This is the beginning of the third term.
Yes.
And fathers are worried about the school fees, naturally. Then the school needs the uniforms, the shoes, all these things. And fathers don't have jobs. So that could affect the relationship they may have even within their own homes. And they get depressed without noticing it. And in Africa, mental health is sort of a new thing. It has always existed, but we never knew it.
Yes.
Because largely, when we lived a subsistence kind of life, you depended on your neighbor, and the neighbor depended on another neighbor. When you harvested maize, you sent a basketful to my house, and when I slaughtered a goat, I sent you a piece.
So there was no need to worry.
The worry is, you know, the modern sense comes with these problems. And that's why we see heightened levels of mental health problems. We must be aware of it. Because you're a man. How do I go to HT Israel Kaziwe and I tell him, man, I can't sleep? Owek Kazibwe may not understand, may laugh at me. Owek Kazibwe has been very hardworking and he's okay. How do I go to tell him that I
Things are
went to
not
my
working
neighbor
out
to get a loan for school fees? That happens a lot with men. Now, men being leaders of the family unit doesn't make them any less human. And I think a real man must find another real man to discuss his issues with.
I know.
Because once you share it with someone, it's not, you never know what kind of solution that may be. And for many of us men think that manhood is about
Being masculine.
Having a deep voice. These days you want to wear these apostle-like beards.
Yeah.
Like Peter the Apostle. You know, men like that. You know, I can see Prince Job wants to be like the Apostle Peter.
I know.
It goes beyond that. Being a man, his responsibility is about duty. And to execute duty, you need advice.
True.
Even in a family unit, you need to talk to people you trust. People who are genuinely interested in your well-being. A man needs that. And if that happens, I think incidences of mental health will lessen.
As we are concluding, I wanted us to conclude this issue of men and encourage men to speak up, because I've interacted with a couple of them. Prince Job and the team, we've started a campaign where we have a space where we call men to speak. I go to apartments and I tell them, don't be stressed. Come, let's talk. And men are coming out. So we meet once every month. We're encouraging them to speak. Don't die in your own house. Find somebody you can speak to. I just like you to add a voice to that, to encourage men to speak out.
Well, there are two things you need in life. Family and friends. So if you think you're man enough, identify your friends. Identify your family. Have a chat with them. Be open about it. And you'll be surprised at how fast solutions can be found. You know, if you bottle up everything, you are going to explode. And the consequences may be very bad. So people should find their friends. People should identify their family. I know so many people come from families and they never hold conversations with their siblings. Old schoolmates, these are not going to judge you. Look for them and talk to them.
True.
You might find a solution to your problem.
Amen. OHT, I would like you to look into that camera. And I know you've had so many opportunities to speak to the people of Buganda. I would like you to share with them that one thing you always want them to remember about your speeches.
Well, look. But that depends on the subject one may be talking about. But what I can say is that the people of Buganda must never ever lose hope. Because hope is the fuel that you need to keep pushing even when you are at the brink of despair in public life and in private life. So the people of Buganda, and indeed all Ugandans, should never lose hope under any circumstances.
Thank you so much, Owek. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Friends, thank you so much for being part of this conversation. If you have come this far, it means you do love these conversations. Endeavor to go ahead and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any episode that we release every Friday. It's been a great conversation. Pick out a few things and learn. Make sure you don't remain the same. And may this conversation be a turning point in your life. Probably you've been wondering about so many things we have talked about. You've gotten an answer. My name is Simon Chris Makanga. May the good Lord of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob be with you. Until another video, for now, it's a bye-bye.